I'm Chris Osborne, and some 12 months ago I became chair of the Wales Tourism Alliance. We won't talk about whether that was the best day of my life or not. But I do have a hotel in Tenby, so I do actually know what it's like to be in the industry. In fact, that's what I'm supposed to be doing all the time, so I'm moonlighting. Okay, what does the Wales Tourism Alliance do? Well, I think probably there are maybe 3 or 4 things critical to the tourism industry which we perform. The first is to make sure that there is a communication that goes from the industry upwards to Welsh Assembly Government, which is mostly Visit Wales, but also AMs. Also, it goes to Westminster, and we sometimes tend to forget how important the functions of Westminster still are in terms of the impact they can still have on tourism. And if I just say tax, that will be enough, won't it? Also, Europe, Strasbourg, and then just occasionally there are issues which we need to take up there. And increasingly in this challenging environment, economic environment in which we find ourselves, local authorities. So it's very much communication up, but also communication down, to make sure that the industry understands exactly what's happening from these various places and is geared up to make appropriate response. The representation is another critical part, because whilst all these things are happening, it's absolutely essential that somebody is saying, hang on, why are you doing that? Are you sure the industry wants this to happen? Are you sure that's the best way of doing this? And by then going back to the industry and finding out what the industry thinks about these things, we are able to go back and, be it government, local government or wherever, to try somehow to ensure that the industry's beliefs are being met, that our aspirations are being met, because quite often some fantastically intelligent, perhaps not so articulate, brilliant, still green behind the ears graduate somewhere in some government department comes up with this brilliant idea. And we've seen this, haven't we? Some fantastic idea which is going to be the saviour of the tourism industry in Wales, and actually is a dead duck. We've seen this happen, and in a perfect world, we try to ensure that this doesn't happen, and if it does happen, it gets rescinded as quickly as possible. And then there's research. Visit Wales carry out quite a lot of research in Wales. I have to say, sometimes it's a bit thin. I'll give you an instance. The occupancy survey, it's very good for self-catering because there are huge numbers of self-catering units and agents who input. But if you look, for instance, at hotels, there are 91 hotels in the survey. That means that each and every time occupancy levels come out, for the whole of Wales, that's just 91 hotels. And if it's further broken down into regions, that's obviously less than that. And if it's then broken down into counties, it's obviously less than that. And I can tell you, for instance, in my neck of the woods in Pembrokeshire, there are 5 hotels who participate in the survey, which means that the levels, the occupancy levels which come out, which supposedly are a benchmark, pretty damn useless, really. So I think it's the responsibility of the industry to do something about that. So one of the things that we have done in the last 12 months is to do some research to find out what research the industry wants. So rather than have research information foisted upon you, we thought we would find out what you want. And we've done that research, and over the next 2 years we'll be carrying out certain elements of research which will meet the aspirations. Needless to say, and you won't be surprised, we asked the industry what they want, and I think we ended up with about 26 different pieces of research. We're not going to do 26 pieces of research because we won't hit the targets. But we are going to do at least 3 pieces, in depth, properly, and I hope you all benefit from it. And that sort of is, in a nutshell, what we're supposed to do.